Colorado two-way star Travis Hunter won the Heisman Award on Saturday, the Heisman Trophy Award, that is. Let's talk about how legendary his season was, his impact on the program, and so much more.
You are Locked On Buffs, your daily podcast on the Colorado Buffaloes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Buffs. I am your host, Kevin Borba. Today's episode is brought to you by our sponsors over at FanDuel. You could start the season with a big return on FanDuel. New customers, you can place a $5 bet, and you'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win that first $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. We are also brought to you by the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day for free and available wherever you get your podcast. So thank you guys for making me your first listen of the day. Like I said, free and available wherever you get your podcast. If you're new to the show, welcome. Become an everydayer. You're someone who likes, subscribes, comments, and we have fun in the comment section. We disagree, we agree, we argue, we have fun. It's all in good fun. So join the Locked On Buffs community and let's have some fun. What's more fun than Travis Hunter winning the Heisman, completing what I think could go down as one of the best years in college football history? I don't think people around the country truly realize how great of a season he had. So let me just run you through the list, right? He wins the Paul Hornung Award, which is the nation's most versatile player. He wins the AP Player of the Year, and then he wins the Lot Impact Trophy, the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year, the Bednarik Award, which is the best defensive player. I cannot say that word for the life of me, but he's the best defensive player in college football per the award and per everything. He also won the Blitnikoff, which means he's the best wide receiver. So not only is he the best player on defense, he is also the best wide receiver in the country. He also won the Walter Camp Player of the Year award. And then lastly, the Heisman Trophy. He becomes the first two-way player / defensive player / receiver. Well, not receiver because Devontae Smith won in 2020, but he becomes the first two-way player / defensive player to win the award since 1997 when Charles Woodson won the award. For reference, I was born in 99, so I was not alive for Charles Woodson's Heisman season. I'm sure it was great. But Travis Hunter obviously plays both ways, leads the country in snaps, never leaves the field. Huge, huge season. He also is the first Buff to win the award since the late, great Rashawn Salaam in 1994, the running back. And so really big day for Travis Hunter. Really big day. Big day for me too. Quick little segue. Me and my fiance, we picked a wedding venue. Not as big as a Heisman, but hey, that's my Heisman for now. Wedding planning is stressful. But back to Travis. Let's just talk about it, right? I think a lot of people haven't been giving him the credit that he deserves. And I think a lot of this is because he plays for Deion Sanders, because he was the number one overall recruit, right? Everything about Travis Hunter makes people not want to give him credit. But his Heisman season is one that will go down in the history books. I honestly legitimately think that we will never, maybe not never, but think of 1997, right? That's when Charles Woodson won the Heisman Award. He was a two-way player, quote unquote two-way player. Barely played receiver, had like 12 catches or something. And he was, we'll just consider him a full-time two-way player, right? I'm 25, so it's been 27 years since there's been another two-way player, quote unquote two-way player. Travis Hunter, what he did this year, there's a possibility that we may never see it again. There's a possibility we may have to wait 30 years. There's a possibility we may have to wait 50 years. I'm sure many people would try to imitate it, but I doubt many can replicate it. Travis Hunter has been such a special player this season that I think it'll spark a change in the youth levels of football where kids are going to want to try to play more, to play both ways. Like it's good. I honestly think Travis Hunter in a way revolutionized football, which is kind of crazy to say, right? I think it's pretty hard to revolutionize a sport that's as consistent as football in a way. Like I know we go through eras where it's like, okay, now we're going to throw the ball a lot. Okay, now we're going to like the option era to the air raid to the West Coast, whatever the eras are, however you want to break them up, right? We haven't seen someone who plays two positions at a high level like Travis does. Like scrambling quarterbacks in the NFL, I feel like not just become a thing, but in my lifetime, I remember when quarterbacks would be like docked basically going into the NFL because they weren't pure pocket passers, right? There'd be guys like, I don't even throw out an example. It doesn't matter who, right? Where like, they'd be like, well, he's not good in the pocket, so he's not a good quarterback. And now it's like, if you can't run in the NFL or if you can't run in college, you are literally you're a statue, right? We don't want you. And also shout out to Marcus. I appreciate you. Appreciate your congratulations. Right. So Travis Hunter, I think in a way, and this isn't me trying to degrade any other players throughout the years, but he's like Steph Curry to me, right? I think Travis Hunter is Steph Curry in the sense of Steph Curry didn't invent the three ball in the NBA. It's been around for a hot minute, but he had changed, and him and the Warriors, they changed how people played offense, right? They figured out that, hey, it's more effective for us to jack up 53s a game than it is to just throw the ball down in the post, a couple post moves here and there, right? Travis Hunter, I think, will influence the game of college football, maybe the NFL, for years to come. And so that was a huge, huge award for him. I really loved hearing his speech. I thought, and honestly, it seemed like it was off the cuff, so that makes it even better. He talked for like 6 minutes. Like, there was nothing about that speech where it didn't feel sincere, and I think that's been one of my favorite parts. One of my favorite parts about watching Travis Hunter is he's a genuinely good person. It seems, right? He's probably one of the most famous athletes in football, regardless of the level. He has the biggest sort of platform out there. He has a podcast. He streams, and he's always made sure to do three things. He's made sure to stay true to himself. He's made sure to never sort of big league anyone, and then he's also made sure to sort of be the nicest person he could be, right? And he stayed true to his craft regardless of the outside noise. And lately there's been a lot of outside noise. And first of all, and this is a quick tangent, for those of you going after him and his fiance, relax, right? We have no idea what happened in when they were talking. And now people are just nitpicking and they're trying to go after him, right? The young guy, the young man, he is having the moment of his life and people are trying to tear him down. So quick little tidbit on that. Super annoying. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. They seem just fine. So until Travis Hunter says, hey, world, I really would love your opinion and love your feedback on my relationship, maybe we should all shut up, right? In terms of Travis Hunter, the football player, we won't shut up enough about him, right? He is so good that he deserves all of the recognition. And I also wanted to talk about this. And I saw this argument, quote unquote argument. We're throwing out a lot of quote unquotes today. So maybe we could do a little game of where you drink an adult beverage every time I say quote unquote. If it gets too serious, let me know and I'll slow it down. No, I'm just kidding. No, please do not do that. A lot of people saying, why is he the Heisman? He didn't even lead the receiver, or why did he win the Blitnikoff? Why did he win the Heisman? He wasn't even the best receiver in the country. Okay, well, you know what? Go give the Blitnikoff and the Heisman last year to Malik Washington, right? Go take it from Marvin Harrison Jr. or the year prior, right? Let's go give it to Charlie Jones from Purdue, or who led the league or led the country in receiving yards? Tank Dell. Yeah, go give it to him on that mediocre Houston team. Last year was Roman Dunze who led the country in receiving yards. Not bad. I mean, he was pretty good. Brian Thomas Jr. had 17 touchdowns. He didn't win an award, right? Like, these awards, and I think people need to realize this, and this goes for everyone. This isn't just, there's two things that bother me about the award season right now. One, it's where people bring up stats and go, this player's better because he has better stats than this player. That's not how we tell who's better or who's not, right? Stats can be deceiving. Numbers, whether people want to admit it or not, they can lie, right? Like, you look at, we'll pull up a random stat right now. Like, and this isn't to shoot down LeJontay Wester. This is not by any means to shoot down LeJontay Wester. But if you look at Colorado's, or for instance, he averaged 12.6 yards per catch. Travis Hunter averaged 12.5. Will Shepard averaged 13.1 yards per catch. Does that mean they're better than Travis Hunter because they get more yards per catch than him by 0.1 and 1.6 yards or 0.6 yards or whatever? No, right? There's so many ways to evaluate how good players are, and it makes me sick that people go, "Oh, this guy had much better stats, so he should win the award." Like, we can. And this is the other part, and this is my Ashton Jeanty case, because I think a lot of Colorado fans, I'll be honest, I think we're getting a little too hostile towards Mr. Jeanty, right? We do not need to tear other people down to build Travis Hunter up, right? We can acknowledge that Travis Hunter, Cam Ward, Ashton Genty. Who else am I missing? Dylan Gabriel, Tyler Warren, Cam Scatabo, Kyle McCord, which he was a finalist as well. Bryson Daly from Army. All these guys had great seasons, right? We don't need to tear them down as people because we like Travis Hunter. And I think the same could be said for other people, right? You don't have to tear down Travis Hunter because you don't like him, right? Travis Hunter had the best season. He dominated at 2 positions. And I think that's the craziest thing to me is he wasn't just like the closest thing I've seen to a 2A player in my time of being alive. And I've only been alive for 25 years. So forgive me for aging you if you feel like I'm aging you right now, but that's not the goal, right? Travis Hunter dominated at receiver. Like he is quite literally, per the award, the best receiver in the country. He is also quite literally the best defense player in the country. He's not the best corner, apparently. Shout out to Jim Thorpe Award. That's embarrassing. But he is dominating both, right? In my time, I've seen 2A players. I've seen Miles Jack. I've seen Jabril Peppers. I've seen Adoree Jackson. I'm probably missing a couple. The Oregon State fullback like last year or 2 years ago, right? I think it was Jack Coletto was his name. I've seen those guys, right? Where it's like they contribute on one side of the ball and then they star on the other side. Travis Hunter is legitimately a full-time receiver, a full-time corner. And I know people keep using snap count against him. They're like, oh, he just plays a lot of snaps. Well, I mean, a lot of people play a lot of snaps. None of them play as much as Travis, but there's a lot of guys who play a lot of snaps in college football. At one point, it was the snap count leader was Travis Hunter. And then I'm only familiar with him because of my time covering Texas. It was Travis Hunter and Keaton Crawford from Nevada, who is a defensive back who on the year, I mean, good year for him, 76 total tackles, right? Forced fumble, 6 pass deflections, 2 picks, like good year for Keaton Crawford, right? Keaton Crawford doesn't just because you play a lot doesn't mean you're the best player, right? Same thing with like we see all these 8th year seniors, 7th year seniors. Just because they played a lot of football, does that mean they're going to be the best football player ever? No. So let's stop coming up with these weird, cringy, fake arguments for why Travis shouldn't have won the award, right? If you're going to say, oh, Travis didn't lead the country in stats, well, I mean, you're not wrong. He didn't. But that doesn't mean he's not the best player. And so I think they got the Heisman right. I think they got the Blitnikoff right. I think they got every award that Travis Hunter was involved in correct, except for the Jim Thorpe Award. So really, really big congratulations to Travis Hunter. I don't think it could have happened to a better young man. I've been impressed with how he's carried himself. I've been impressed with his willingness to he's very selfless, it seems, right? And I think when you're a player that good, and obviously I don't know him personally where I'm like, hey, Travis is being fake or something, but he genuinely seems like a good person. And I think when you're an athlete of that level, you sort of lose that human element to where you're just like, I'm above everyone, or it makes you feel like you're above everyone. I've never gotten that vibe from Travis Hunter. I think he's a really, really special talent, and I think he should be honored in so many more ways. And I'm going to talk about the 2 ways that I absolutely think Colorado needs to honor him and how I think this impacts the program for years to come. This episode of Locked On Buffs is brought to you by FanDuel. Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now, new customers, you can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Welcome back to Locked On Buffs. I appreciate you guys for tuning in every single day, making me your first listen of the day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcast, so make sure to like, subscribe, follow. If you don't already, hit me with the little sub. Hit me with the little 5 stars on wherever you get your podcast, right? Let's continue to grow this community. We're approaching 6,500 subscribers. I would love to get to 7,000 eventually. I appreciate all the support that you guys give me and can't wait to see this journey continue to grow, or this journey continue to journey. I guess it's a horrible way of phrasing that, but you know what I mean. Let's talk about it. What is Travis Hunter's impact on Colorado? Well, the biggest thing that I think comes from Travis Hunter winning the Heisman is Deion Sanders' vision and pitch is no longer a vision. It's come to fruition, right? He is no longer selling a dream. He is selling facts. He is selling cold, hard facts and evidence that, hey, If you come to Colorado, you will get three things. You will get major exposure, right? You will get to learn from Hall of Famers and play for the best. And you will have a chance to compete at the highest level of college football, whether that be competing for a Big 12 title, the college football playoff, which whether people want to admit it or not, they were competing for both those things, right? And you can also compete for national awards, right? Shador won the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award. Travis won pretty much every award known to man. And BJ Green, shout out to him, second team all Big 12. Boom, boom, right? Or I think it was first team. I forgot what he was. But you know what I mean? Like, you have the opportunity to come play for Coach Prime, and you have a chance to accomplish everything that you set out to accomplish. He was first team all Big 12. I apologize. And he was Big 12 newcomer of the year. So you have everything at the palm of your hands if you come to Colorado. And I think Travis Hunter sort of shows that Deion Sanders is no longer selling a dream. He is selling a reality, right? Travis Hunter has been, and Shador Sanders for that matter, they've proven everything that Deion Sanders has said to come true. Like, Colorado's winning games. Colorado is getting national recognition. Colorado is playing for the biggest games in college football. That's what every program in the country wants. Not every program in the country can do that. Not every program in the country can say that they do that, right? So Travis Hunter has really helped sell has really helped prove what Deion Sanders has been saying, right? I think a lot of the times, and I think one of the most controversial articles that we'll look back on was, I forgot who it was. Remind me in the comments if you know. But Deion Sanders was called a false prophet, and this was last year. It was really aggressive, right? It was like, okay, like, it's been 3 months, give him some time. But he was called a false prophet because he was talking about all these things, right? All these awards, these accolades, these goals, and it was like, no one's ever going to do that at Colorado, right? Wrong. He's proven you wrong, right? He has proven, hey, I could bring the number one overall recruit to Colorado. I could bring an elite quarterback to Colorado. I can bring a great coaching staff to Colorado. I can win games at Colorado. Colorado, I don't think people realize this because this is getting lost in the shuffle of the Deion Sanders and Colorado hype. They're 9-3. They haven't won 10 games since 2016 or 2016. Yeah. They haven't won a bowl game since, let me pull this up to make sure. They haven't won a bowl game in years, like a lot of years. I'm pulling up a good old sports reference right now. So yes, Colorado's last 10-win season was 2016. That was their only 10-win season dating back to 2001 was the other previous 10-win season. And then to find the last time they won a bowl game, you would have to go all the way back to 2004. For reference, who wants to feel old here? Travis Hunter birth year. I'm going to look it up. I don't know it off the top of my head because that's weird. Travis Hunter was born in 2003. So he was a year old the last time Colorado won a bowl game. That is insane, right? Travis Hunter, Deion Sanders, Shador Sanders, all of these players, not just those two, excuse me. They have taken Colorado to a level that I think most Colorado fans maybe gave up on, right? Coach Prime has reinvigorated this program. He has revitalized this program. And Travis Hunter is living proof of that. So how do you honor a legend like Travis Hunter? Well, I think there's two things that you do right away, right? I think you have to do special things for special people, right? And I couldn't spit that out. Realistically, I think he deserves his number retired, right? I think that's the obvious one. I really do. I don't think anyone should ever wear that number 12 again because honestly, it'd be doing a disservice to Travis Hunter and it'd be doing a disservice to whoever wears the number, right? I think one of my least favorite things that I see are like legendary numbers being worn. I'm like, this is no shade to Graham Mertz, but him wearing 15 at Florida has me absolutely baffled, right? And I know Florida doesn't retire numbers. My friend Sergio went there. Shout out Sergio. He went there and he's like, they don't retire numbers. They just honor them. Blah, blah, blah. I don't care, right? I think some numbers, like some people are just so great. No one should ever wear that number again because it's a disservice to that player and it's a disservice to to Travis, right? I don't imagine like me going to Colorado. For those of you who haven't seen me in person, I'm about 5'7", short king, if you will. I dominate slow pitch softball every Thursday nights. Co-ed league with my girlfriend. We're out there cooking, right? I'm I'm due for a couple errors a game, but I'm due for a couple big hits, right? Imagine like a walk on, like maybe like, hey, Coach Prime, I'd like to wear number 12. And like, why would he want to do that, right? Why would they want to give that number? So I think you have to retire his number. You hang it up in the rafters, right? You put it up right there, or like along the scoreboard, wherever, and then you build a statue of him. I don't know what picture you use of him. I honestly, I think you have to sort of go with. I love the diving interception against TCU, because I was like, that felt like a this is Travis Hunter moment. I think another one that would be cool. I think it was the Heisman pose against UCF. That would be a really neat one. He did like the Spider-Man flip. Maybe that's a cool one. But I just think it's one of those things where you have to honor this guy. I don't know how else you could do it besides retiring his number and building a statue. So let's get those statues up. I'll start the petition, if you will, if you want to sign. But I appreciate all the support that you guys give me. So let's get some support for a Travis Hunter statue. I think that's the only way to honor him, or one of the few ways to honor him. Obviously, name a building after him for all I care. I don't know what to name the training room after him, because he spent so much time there getting ready for games. Like, name something after him, retire his jersey, do a lot of things. Do a lot of things to honor Travis Hunter, because I think, and this is kind of crazy to say, and this is just me being young-ish, this is the first time I felt like I've watched a player. This is the first time I feel like I've watched a player and been like, yeah, that guy is, I'm gonna tell my kids about him. Like that's how crazy, that's how impactful Travis Hunter has been. Like, I know there's been handfuls of elite players that I've seen growing up, like Johnny Manziel, Marcus Mariota. I'm sure I'm missing quite a few, but like, Travis Hunter is honestly the first player, or one of the few players, that I've sat there and thought to myself and gone, wow, that is a college football legend that I will be telling my kids about, because what he has done on receiver, at corner, excuse me, as a leader, as a person, it's just mesmerizing. In the era of social media, where it's so easy to get caught up in tedious, excuse me, beefs or whatever, or tedious like arguments, or maybe he chases the NIL bag, right? Travis Hunter is legitimately like a superstar on and off the field. And so when I say Travis Hunter is the one player where I feel like I'm going to tell my kids about him, I'm legitimately serious. Like, that's how much of an impact I think he's had on the sport of college football. I don't know if he'll ever be able to be what he's been able to do will be replicated, but I'm sure as hell a lot of people are going to try to imitate it. That's how good Travis Hunter has been. When we come back, I'm going to be talking about some Colorado transfer portal things. So make sure to stick around so you know who could be replacing some of the biggest stars in college football. This episode of Locked On Buffs is brought to you by the College Football Playoff. And let me tell you about the College Football Playoff. Obviously, we know it's coming up. I don't have a little graphic for it. Oh, well, we'll just have to roll without it. College Football Playoff. Let me talk to you about the College Football Playoff, because it is coming up. It's that time of the year. The College Football Playoff is back, and with a newly expanded 12-team format, it's guaranteed to be bigger and better than ever, bringing you all the hard-hitting and high-flying excitement you love. TNT Sports coverage of the College Football Playoff begins December 21st, starting with the College Football Playoff kickoff show presented by AT&T at 11 a.m. Eastern, leading into our first match at the Southern Methodist University Mustangs, battling the Penn State Lions at noon. Then the Clemson Tigers look to upset the Texas Longhorns in the showdown at 4 p.m. Eastern. Don't miss a moment of the action. Watch the College Football Playoff presented by Allstate live on TNT, True TV, TBS, and Max. Welcome back to Locked On Buffs. I appreciate you guys for tuning in, making me your first listen of the day. If you're new to the show, make sure to like, subscribe, follow, become an everydayer. My everydayers, I couldn't do it without you, right? You guys comment every single day. You look at this mug, you listen to this voice. You guys know I've been battling a case of whatever's been going around, and my voice sounded absolutely disgusting for the past week. You guys have stuck through that, and I appreciate you for that. You guys have stuck through my random softball updates. You've stuck through my random wedding updates. We just got a venue today. Shout out. So I really appreciate all the support that you guys gave me. Let's talk about college football transfer portal shenanigans, because Colorado has quite the list, right? They hosted a linebacker from LSU that I think they have a good chance of getting him. right? I think the one position that I've been circling um, that they really need to to go after is linebacker. Um, you lose you lose both Levante Bentley and you lose Nikai Hill Green. It's like, okay, you're not just losing great players, you're losing leaders. And so Xavier Atkins, LSU guy, freshman, had 3 total tackles. He seems to me he had a visit to Boulder. He seems to me like a little bit of an investment piece, which I mean, not bad, right? You want to take a chance on a guy who, as a prospect, was a borderline 4-star, 3-star, depending on where you, but depending on your recruiting service. 24/7 had him ranked as the 334th linebacker in the country. Right, I think couldn't go wrong with him. I also want to make sure that you guys know Caden Salter, Liberty quarterback. I think he may have a chance to replace Shedeur Sanders. Now, a lot of people get into this Julian Lewis argument where it's like Julian Lewis didn't come to sit the bench. Well, Julian Lewis also was never going to be handed the job, right? Coach Prime was always going to make him compete for it the same way that everyone else has competed for every other job when they played for Coach Prime. So get that out of your head that Julian Lewis is just going to roll up and be like, hey, I'm Julian Lewis, give me the job. Like, that's not how it works. Liberty offensive lineman Jordan White, 81.4 PFF grade. The dude is a absolute monster. And I think the offensive line, for how much they improved compared to last year, right? They were still bad. Shedeur Sanders was still the 3rd most sacked quarterback in college football. They had no useful run game, so they need some more offensive linemen. They need some good offensive linemen. And Jordan White is that guy. And then Kevin Concepcion from North Carolina State. He visited Alabama today, appeared to like it. Right? Why would you not like Alabama? Why would you not like Alabama, right? I mean, even though Kalen DeBoer didn't lead them to what they were hoping, right? It's still Alabama, right? They got the titles, they got the pedigree, they got the facilities, they got Ryan Williams, you got quarterbacks, Keelan Russell, the 5-star from Duncanville. You got a lot going for you at Bama. So Colorado's going to have to really impress. And they lost, and this is, and I should talk about this sooner. Colorado's losing Devin Rispers, right? They're recruiting one of their best recruiters. Like, he's going to Florida State. So Colorado's going to really have to step it up in terms of recruiting. They're also hosting the number 1 tight end in the portal. They're hosting a few receivers, linemen. So it's one of those things where if you're Colorado, you need to make a lasting impression. And what I talked about earlier, obviously Travis Hunter winning the Heisman is big for recruiting. It's also big for the portal, right? Colorado's season this past year, big for the portal, right? And you look at what Coach Prime was selling, and we talked about this question on one of our Locked On Buffs Big 12 squads, which, if you guys don't know, we do this every Thursday night. Me and my brothers of the Big 10, the Big 12, excuse me, my Big 12 brethren, we get together and we talk shop about the Big 12, all things Big 12. We talk about it, and we had a question, and the question was, and I didn't answer the question, but I talked about it on my show. Can the rest of the Big 12 keep up with Deion Sanders, right? And so my stance on that is the rest of the Big 12 should not be able to keep up with Deion Sanders, right? If he's winning football games, Deion Sanders will have literally no issues out recruiting everyone in the Big 12 and building the best portal classes. And I just want to give you guys an example. When Deion Sanders was hired before last season, right, he put together a top 30 high school class in the number 1 portal class in like 2 weeks, right? He was landing commits left and right, and it was just off of vibes, right? Because, I mean, let's be honest. Nobody was watching Jackson State. None of these players were like, yeah, I'm dialed into Jackson State right now. They were excited to play for Deion Sanders. Obviously, they go 4-8. Not great. But he puts together a 12-man class, which I thought was kind of light. And I wasn't loving how light the 12-man class was. 3 of those 12 were top 90 recruits. He also had another top 10 transfer portal class after 4 wins. So even after they struggle, puts together another top 10 class. This time it's a little different, right? He targets experienced, proven players. And then this year wins 9 games, lands a 5-star quarterback, has his son and quarterback win the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award, Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year award. Travis Hunter wins a Defensive Player of the Year. Travis Hunter wins every award. And they're probably going to build an elite transfer portal class. Like Deion Sanders is going to put in work in this transfer portal. I cannot wait to see who they get, because I think in this year, and I think we saw it a little bit last year, I'm not going to say we didn't, they're going to beat out some major programs for some of these guys. And I think it's going to be legitimately insane. Like, people are going to be like, damn, did Colorado really just get insert player over insert SEC team? And it's like, yeah, they did, because they just had 9-10 wins. And now Coach Prime is no longer selling a vision that hasn't happened. He is selling, hey, I just won 9 games. Come be a part of something special. So I can't wait to see what Coach Prime does in the portal. If you guys are new to the show, make sure to like, subscribe, or follow, so that way you guys stay updated on every transfer portal movement that happens in relation to Colorado. I will keep you guys updated every step of the way. I appreciate you guys for tuning in every single day, making me your first listen of the day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow. This has been another episode of Locked On Buffs. I hope all of you have a great, blessed weekend, and I'll see you guys on Monday.